All right. Good morning. Good morning. Sorry about yesterday's videos. I attempted to post multiple times. It took several hours for the first one to even go through. And now you see that I've made a YouTube page. Things should go a little bit quicker, but loading times onto YouTube are still pretty crazy high. So I saw 29 people were able to view the thing. Please go back and view yesterday's lesson, kind of as a reminder of things. It also explains some of the ongoing issues we might have, or how to solve some of the ongoing issues we might have. So make sure you view that last video. Also, as a reminder, if you were asking about a key to the first assignment, it is at the end of the third video talking about the key. Okay, so you gotta look at the videos. You don't have to watch the whole thing. Just go through and with the key videos, make sure you go back over the ones that you need help with. Okay, so if you had a question with number 3 and number 20, you would want to watch the first video and the second video or something like that. But just scroll through to whatever number you need help with, and hopefully you get the help you need. All right. So today we're covering the second 9 weeks. For those of you who are a little bit confused, there's instructions in the repost of March 24th that tells you what is due on what day. So couple of reminders for this portion. If you remember, we encountered systems of equations and word problems and things like that. So systems of equations, there are 3 ways to solve, right? The first one that we covered was graphing. And if you recall, whenever you're using systems of equations, you're talking about 2 equations at the same time. So the intersection point, if you can use that on your calculator, even if you hit second calc, you can find the intersect, right? Your intersection point is your solution. The x value goes with the first term and the y value goes with the second term. All right. Another way is substitution. If I had 2 equations and one of them was already set up, solved for a variable, right? I would take that y equals value, y equals 2x plus 3, and I would substitute it in for the y in the second equation and solve, right? Do y'all remember substitution? I hope you do. So distribute, combine like terms, and solve. And lastly, we have elimination. It was your least favorite overall, and it is when we have matching coefficients or opposite coefficients. Remember, if we have matching coefficients, we can subtract. If we have opposite coefficients, we could add to eliminate or get a coefficient of 0 in front of one of the variables. Then you can take the leftover information and solve, resubstitute that info and solve. Remember, we're having to solve for both variables, all right? And when it comes to graphing, we also experience graphing inequalities. So as a reminder, whenever we have a less than sign, it's a dashed line with shading underneath. Greater than sign will be a dashed line with shading above. And why do we do dashed lines for greater than or less than? Because it's not equal to that, right? So because it can't equal what's on the line. Okay, it can't be matched up with what's on the line. Now, that's the big difference between greater than, less than, and greater than or equal to and less than or equal to. So when we have a less than or equal to symbol, we'll have a solid line shaded below, and a greater than or equal to symbol will be solid line shaded above. All right. Also, as a reminder, whenever you're doing word problems, the harder word problems are usually because you need to identify a value equation and a sum equation, a total equation, right? We talked about a value versus total equation. Value meaning how much something costs. You remember when we had nickels and dimes, we had to have one equation that talked about nickels were worth 5 cents, dimes were worth 10 cents, and then the total amount of money we had was blah, right? And then we have a total equation, which was the total number of nickels and the total number of dimes, or N plus D is equal to a quantity of nickels and dimes, or a quantity of coins. So a value equation and a quantity equation, or a value equation and a total equation, right? The rest of them, the rest of the problems, sometimes you'll have two total equations or two value equations, or two equations talking about long sleeve t-shirts and short sleeve t-shirts, or ticket prices for adults and ticket prices for kids, and you have to identify each of those things. So sometimes they're talking about two totals or two quantities, and sometimes they're talking about two values, how much things cost, but they're separate values, right? I think that's pretty much it as a reminder for this one. This I'm kind of looking through it. This assignment doesn't have a lot of in-depth problems. You have to solve a few of them, like number 3 and number 4. As a reminder, with number 4, what is the zero of an equation? It is when y is equal to 0, right? So when it intersects the x-axis, so we should be able to drop in a 0 for that y value. And kind of scrolling through here. Number 14, which coordinate pair is the solution? Make sure you graph that equation. Make sure you're shading and doing the dashed line or solid line properly. And then you plot each 4 of those points on number 14, and you can see which one lands in the shaded area, right? If you remember, the shaded area is our solution area. Seems to be about it. Number 18 is always kind of a little bit of a weird question. If you want to look at that one, maybe pause the video and look at that one. Number 18, you remember where P has the number of pieces of luggage have to be greater than or equal to 1. So that should kind of give you a hint there, right? Greater than or equal to 1. Let's see. And as you recall, it says it gets the first one free, right? Customers may check 1 piece of luggage. So we got to get that first one free. I don't see anything else that's all crazy. So, all right. I'm going to go ahead and start on the video over the solutions. I can't get my printer to work for some reason, and no one is working today because Houston is now under a stay-at-home alert, so I can't contact anyone for help. But yeah, so I'm not going to write down all the word problems like I did last time. That took way too much time. I'm going to number a sheet of paper and scroll through and do them and show any work that needs to be done. I hope that's sufficient, and I hope y'all are all doing very, very well. Once again, please ask questions in the comment section of this video. And if you're online, please check the comment section to see if there's any help you can give, any answers that you can provide. All right, so that's it for this, and I will start working on the other video.